Africa, a continent brimming with life, bursting with potential. Across its diverse nations, a new generation rises, the youth. They are vibrant, brimming with dreams, and ready to reshape the world. From the bustling tech hubs of Lagos to the vibrant art scenes of Nairobi, African youth are claiming their place on the global stage. They are entrepreneurs, artists, scientists, athletes, and change makers, pushing boundaries and challenging the status quo. Yet, this potential often remains untapped, stifled by deeply entrenched barriers. These obstacles hinder the dreams of millions, trapping them in cycles of poverty and inequality. But it's also a story of resilience, of the unwavering spirit of African youth determined to overcome these challenges and claim their rightful place in the world. The narrative surrounding Africa is often one of despair, focusing on poverty, conflict, and disease. While these challenges are real, they do not represent the full picture. Africa is a continent on the rise, experiencing significant economic growth and development in recent years. From advancements in technology and infrastructure to a burgeoning entrepreneurial spirit, signs of progress are evident across the continent. Central to this transformation is the power of Africa's youth. Armed with education, determination, and a deep-seated desire for a better future, they are challenging old norms and spearheading change across various sectors. However, to fully harness this potential, it is crucial to address the deeply rooted obstacles that continue to hinder the advancement of African youth. Two major forces stand as formidable barriers to the progress of African youth: harmful cultural practices and the pervasive presence of corruption. These twin challenges impact every aspect of their lives, from education and healthcare to economic opportunities and political participation. Harmful cultural practices, often deeply ingrained in societal norms, continue to limit the potential of countless young people, particularly girls. Corruption creates an uneven playing field where opportunities are determined not by merit but by connections and privilege. Imagine a young girl, barely a teenager, her dreams filled with books and learning, her laughter echoing through the village. Now imagine that laughter silenced, replaced with the weight of adult responsibilities, her future traded for a dowry, her childhood stolen by the cruel practice of child marriage. This is the reality for millions of girls across Africa. Child marriage, often rooted in poverty, tradition, or gender inequality, is a violation of human rights with devastating consequences. Girls forced into marriage are often denied education, their bodies not yet ready for childbirth, their dreams shattered before they can fully bloom. The fight against child marriage requires a multi-pronged approach, addressing the root causes while empowering girls with education, information, and agency over their own lives. It demands a shift in societal norms, challenging patriarchal structures, and creating a world where every girl has the right to choose her own future. Section 3. Shackles of Tradition. Forced labor and initiation. Across Africa, various forms of forced labor and initiation rituals, often disguised as cultural practices, continue to rob youth of their freedom, their education, and their right to a childhood. From working in hazardous conditions on family farms to enduring painful and dangerous initiation rites, many young people are denied the opportunity to attend school, develop their talents, and pursue their dreams. Forced labor, whether in agriculture, mining, or domestic servitude, not only deprives children of their education and childhood, but also exposes them to physical abuse, exploitation, and psychological trauma. Challenging these harmful practices requires sensitivity, understanding, and a collaborative approach. Section 4. Preserving culture, empowering youth. It's important to acknowledge that not all cultural practices are harmful. Africa boasts a rich tapestry of traditions, many of which promote community, respect for elders, and a deep connection to heritage. The key lies in differentiating between practices that empower and those that harm, in preserving the beauty of culture while challenging traditions that hinder progress and violate human rights. By equipping young people with critical thinking skills, they can question harmful norms, advocate for their rights, and become agents of change within their communities. By working together, communities can break free from the shackles of harmful practices and create a brighter future where tradition and progress go hand in hand. While harmful cultural practices represent a visible enemy, a more insidious force silently erodes the dreams of Africa's youth: corruption. Like a virus, it infects every level of society, from local governance to national institutions, diverting resources meant for development into the pockets of a greedy few. Corruption takes many forms: a bribe demanded for essential services, funds allocated for schools or hospitals vanishing into thin air, contracts awarded based on connections rather than merit. When public funds are looted, schools crumble, hospitals lack essential medicines, and vital infrastructure projects remain unfinished. Fighting corruption requires a multi-pronged approach involving strengthening institutions, promoting transparency and accountability, empowering citizens to hold their leaders responsible, and fostering a culture of integrity from the grassroots up. It is a battle that demands courage, perseverance, and a collective commitment to creating a society where the rule of law prevails over greed and impunity. Education, often hailed as the great equalizer, holds the key to unlocking the potential of Africa's youth. However, across the continent, education systems are under siege, crippled by a lack of resources, inadequate infrastructure, and the pervasive presence of corruption. In many communities, schools lack basic amenities like clean water, electricity, and proper sanitation. Classrooms are overcrowded, with teachers struggling to cater to the needs of far too many students. This dire situation is further exacerbated by corruption. Funds allocated for education are often siphoned off, leaving schools struggling to function. Investing in quality education for all is not just a moral imperative. It is an economic necessity. The frustration is palpable, the dreams deferred. Millions of young Africans graduate each year, armed with education and ambition, only to find the doors of opportunity slammed shut. High unemployment rates, particularly among youth, paint a stark picture of the challenges they face in finding decent work and contributing to the nation's development. The formal job market often fails to absorb the growing number of graduates, leaving many struggling to find work that matches their skills and aspirations. Unlocking the potential of Africa's youth requires creating an enabling environment for job creation and entrepreneurship. This includes investing in sectors with high growth potential, promoting innovation and technology, providing access to affordable financing, and dismantling the corrupt systems that favor the privileged few over the deserving many. From apathy to action, the crushing weight of disillusionment, the weight of these combined challenges from harmful cultural practices to endemic corruption takes a toll on the spirit of African youth. Many, faced with limited opportunities and systemic barriers, succumb to a sense of apathy, their dreams slowly fading into a sense of resignation. However, amidst the challenges, a spirit of resilience persists. Across Africa, young people are rising up, refusing to accept the status quo. From student activists challenging corrupt university systems, to young entrepreneurs creating innovative solutions to local problems, a new generation of leaders is emerging. By channeling their frustration into constructive action, they are proving that change is possible. Beyond statistics, real lives, stolen futures. The true cost of these barriers cannot be measured in statistics alone. Behind every data point, every percentage, lies a human story, a dream deferred, a potential unrealized. It is the story of a girl forced into marriage at 15, her education cut short, her future stolen. It is the story of a boy, a brilliant young graduate, his qualifications meaningless in a job market riddled with nepotism. Each story serves as a stark reminder of the urgency of addressing these challenges, of dismantling the systems that perpetuate inequality and injustice. By amplifying these voices, by sharing their stories, we can break through the apathy, ignite a sense of urgency, and inspire collective action. A tangled web, the interplay of tradition and corruption, harmful cultural practices and systemic corruption form a web trapping young Africans in poverty and limited opportunity. These forces reinforce each other, making it challenging for youth to break free. Consider the young girl subjected to harmful traditional practices. This act can limit her prospects, making her vulnerable to poverty and early marriage. Corruption in education perpetuates limited opportunities. Youth rely on patronage, further fueling corruption. This creates a vicious cycle of limited opportunities and harmful practices. Breaking this cycle requires addressing both harmful traditions and systemic corruption. The exodus of talent. When hope takes flight, many talented young Africans leave their homelands seeking better opportunities. This brain drain represents a significant loss for the continent. They are doctors, engineers, scientists, and entrepreneurs. Addressing this requires creating hope and opportunities, investing in education, promoting innovation, and tackling corruption. A continent held hostage. The price of inaction. The consequences of inaction are far-reaching, impacting lives and the future of the continent. Africa's potential remains untapped, held hostage by harmful practices and corruption. Lack of education and opportunities hinders growth and perpetuates poverty. Corruption erodes trust, discourages investment, and hinders development. The time for action is now. Breaking the chains, a future within reach. Despite challenges, a spirit of optimism persists. A new generation is rising, determined to create a brighter future. Entrepreneurs harness technology to solve local problems. Activists demand transparency and accountability. Artists challenge norms and inspire change. Their energy and resilience offer hope. They prove change is possible. Unlocking potential requires collective effort. Governments must invest in education and jobs. Communities must empower women and girls. International partners must support sustainable solutions. The path forward is clear. By investing in youth, Africa can become a global leader. We've journeyed through the complex realities hindering Africa's youth. Corruption and harmful practices must end. This is a call to action. Invest in education. Dismantle barriers to learning. Ensure access for all. Build schools, train teachers, and leverage technology. Create economic opportunities. Foster innovation and provide mentorship. Support small businesses. Promote vocational training. Remove bureaucratic hurdles. Eradicate corruption. Strengthen governance. Promote transparency. Empower citizens. The fight for a brighter future for Africa's youth is theirs. They are dynamic agents of change, brimming with innovative ideas. Our role is to amplify their voices and support their initiatives. We must listen, learn, and empower them to lead. This means supporting youth-led organizations and creating spaces for dialogue. Recognize and value their contributions through concrete actions. From Lagos to Malawi, young Africans are making a difference. They are developing mobile applications to improve healthcare access, creating sustainable agricultural practices to combat food insecurity, and advocating for good governance and human rights. Their stories are a testament to their ingenuity and resilience. The challenges facing Africa's youth may seem overwhelming, but we must resist the temptation to succumb to apathy or despair. This is not a burden for Africa to bear alone. It's a shared responsibility that demands a global response. Governments, international organizations, civil society, the private sector, and individuals all have a role to play. We must move beyond rhetoric and translate commitments into concrete actions that bring tangible change to the lives of millions. This means increasing development assistance and ensuring it reaches those who need it most. It means promoting fair trade practices that empower African economies. It means supporting organizations working on the ground to address the root causes of poverty, inequality, and injustice. Most importantly, it means challenging our own biases and assumptions about Africa. We must move beyond the simplistic narratives of despair and recognize the continent's diversity, its dynamism, and its immense potential. The challenges are real, but so is the hope. Africa is on the cusp of transformation, and its youth are the key. They will break the chains of poverty and colonialism, ushering in sustainable development and shared prosperity. Let us stand in solidarity with Africa's youth, supporting their dreams.